let me just talk about this this poll that just came out, and it's not telling us anything radically different than what we've seen in the past about what we know in terms of what's going to happen with the Democratic base. Apparently, Democracy Corps did a poll for Women's Voices, Women Vote. And Democracy Corps is a Democratic shop. So
Carville Greenberg.
Right. And so, you take that for what it's worth. When they look at the what they call the rising American electorate, that's unmarried women, young voters, and minorities, they have found that they are significantly less likely to vote in 2014 than other voters, non-RAE voters. The poll finds 64% of RAE voters who voted in 2012 say they are almost certain to vote in 2014. Meanwhile, 79% of non-single women, non-young people, non-minorities who voted in 2012 say they are almost certain to vote this year. That's a 15-point difference. This is what we saw in that Florida 13 race from a month ago or so, where people started freaking out. This is the fundamental problem that the Democrats have. It's not Obamacare. It's not anything other than the fact that they are not putting anything on the table that are going to drive their primary constituency to the polling places. Among the voters who will drop off from 2012 and not vote in 2014, Democrats hold an edge of 16 points. So in other words, voters who are more likely to stay home are overwhelmingly Democratic voters. This is a real problem for the Democratic Party. In saying that, what I'm saying is this is a real problem for maintaining a Democratic majority in the Senate, which is a real problem because I don't think that there is anybody more inclined to deal with a Republican-controlled Senate and a Republican-controlled House than President Obama. By all accounts, despite the fact that he took it out of his budget this year, the president is still pining over so-called entitlement, so-called reform. And to have a Republican-controlled Senate and a Republican-controlled House is a perfect situation for a Democratic president who wants to have that grand bargain. Not to mention the implications for filling the judiciary, et cetera, et cetera. There are issues, I mean, some of them came up in that interview with Zoe Carpenter that are favored strongly by elements of the rising American electorate, as they call it. 94% of unmarried women favor a combination of pay equity and protections, ensuring insurance companies no longer charge women more than men. 75% of unmarried women favor a combination of pay equity, increasing the minimum wage. And apparently it's single women are an increasingly key constituency within that RAE group. But the Democrats have to figure out how to put something else on the table that is going to bring their voters out. And it would be sad to learn that lesson that Mark Begich is teaching the Democrats in Alaska, to learn it after the election.